Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. This is our Coming Soon and News segment. This is where we talk about all the Coming Soon films. Yes, Matt?
Yes.
Yes, sir. And so those are films that are going to be coming out this weekend.
Yeah.
And a little bit of news. And we have a bit of news.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Mostly it's some trailer talk.
Yeah, trailer talk.
Yeah, so we had some good trailers drop. Well, trailers, I should say. Drop.
We've had some trailers drop.
Yes, and we'll be discussing those. And we're going to be talking about two films today, which are American Made, a film with Tom Cruise. That's all you need to know. Yep. And Flatliners, a film with Ellen Page. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
There you go. We're done.
Yeah.
So what? No. All right. Why don't you give our listeners just a few ways here in the upfront to get connected?
Yes, you can connect with us in the social media universe, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Real Review Media, facebook.com/Real Review Media, our website, realreviewmedia.com, and our email, realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Where you can reach out to us, ask us questions, tell us what your thoughts were on a certain show or a movie that you saw, whatever that may be. Do it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that all being done, why don't we get into talking about some films coming out this weekend?
It.
And so, Matt, you and I are probably going to be seeing the same film this weekend. It looks like. Yes.
Yeah.
It's this first one we're going to be talking about. But we are going to talk about Flatliners as well. But the first film, American Made. The synopsis for this is a pilot lands work for the CIA as a drug runner in the South during the 1980s. I like that, in the South. Mostly Colombia, I believe, maybe a bit in Mexico.
Right.
But he's more or less channeling drugs through the narcos during the 1980s, where the heyday of cocaine was kind of hitting us. It stars Tom Cruise as Barry Seal. You've got Domhnall Gleeson as Monty Schaefer, Sarah Wright as Lucy, and then a few other people. I don't know how significant they are going to be the plots, but those are kind of like the big ones that you see in the trailer.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this one, and we talked about this a little bit when I was talking about Narcos in our Tube Talk. So Barry Seal is actually in Narcos, the television show.
I did hear that, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a brief, very, very brief cameo, and you get a understanding of what happens to his character.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if we'll see. Well, I don't know what they're gonna do, but
They'll change history.
Yeah. Well, one of them, I'm like, because I don't know how. I haven't looked up the actual story,
right? So
I don't know if maybe the Narcos was
maybe
doing
they
their
took
own thing,
liberties,
or right. I don't know what the liberties are that they're taking. So I don't know, Matt. What are some of your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see this. I mean, aside from that getting some pretty good positive early buzz, my initial thoughts were, it looks like it could be good. It could be, I don't know. I haven't really liked Tom Cruise movies that much recently. Okay. Unless it's been like a Mission Impossible movie. Even those, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Tom Cruise is very Tom Cruisey. Yeah. But I will say that I like the pairing because I loved The Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. And Doug Liman and Tom Cruise were both involved in that. So I'm super pumped about that.
He's gotten more hit or miss for me. I mean, The Mummy was just
it's awful. That put a really bad taste in my mouth. Like, I didn't like Tom Cruise after that movie.
I agree. And then I think the Jack Reacher sequel was the one right before that, and I did not like that either. I thought the first Jack Reacher was good, but I thought the second one was reaching. Yeah, there you go.
The other one was, not Tom Cruise, but Doug Liman. He did the first Born Identity, which I thought was a solid film.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. There's some stuff in there. He did a lot of work on Suits, too, which is actually pretty cool, producing a lot of that mainly. But, yeah, and then he's working on the sequel for The Edge of Tomorrow. It's called, it's the dumbest name ever. Hopefully they change it. It's called Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. So
I am hoping they change that as well. But I will look forward to the movie. I liked the last one. A pretty good amount. Yeah. Like a B-ish, B+. So,
you talking about Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I would give it an A. I love that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Controversy here. So I'm kidding. For me, I'm kind of looking forward to this one. I think it's got some appeal to me. I have, for whatever reason, I do like movies about like the drug trade. Blow with Johnny Depp. That one it was for a while. That was one of my favorite films. And I don't know. There's just something about I love Narcos. I like them a lot more than the serialized sort of cop drama type films, or like top drama movies, I should say, where it's like the cops trying to figure out some case and, what's going to happen. There's just something about him that's just interesting to me. I'm not a druggie.
Maybe that's why you like Breaking Bad a lot too.
Maybe. Yeah, possibly. But this one is interesting to me. I'm pretty hit or miss with Tom Cruise as well.
Yeah.
I like him for some of his stuff, and then other things I'm a bit like, meh.
Yeah.
We've at least seen that he can definitely be a part of films that flop on the basis of they're just not good films.
Right.
There's definitely been a couple films he did in the past where they were kind of divisive.
Yeah.
And some people were like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like this. I didn't like that, like Eyes Wide Shut or something with Stanley Kubrick. But this is not that. This is a Hollywood. He is like the epitome of Hollywood, and this is the epitome of like a Hollywood type film. That's a Universal Pictures property.
Yeah.
I like Domhnall Gleeson as well. I don't know too much about Sarah Wright. I do think maybe this is again part of the history, the autobiography aspect of it, or the biography, I should say, aspect of it. But she seems very young for him. Just in real life and reality,
absolutely.
Like she looks like she's like in her late 20s, and he looks like he's in his middle 50s. So I don't know. I'm excited to see some of the action elements, and hopefully there's some good kind of twists and turns throughout the plot.
There's some. I'm definitely tempering my expectations. My excitement level is probably close to like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put it like a 6, I think, for me. 6.5, which is funny because I just got done talking about how I like action or like drug movies. So yeah. So next then, any other thoughts?
No, that's really it.
Okay. Next then, we're going to move into our second film, which is Flatliners.
Right.
Yes. And the synopsis for this one is it doesn't have a synopsis.
I got one for you.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
5 medical students obsessed by what lies beyond the confines of life embark on a daring experiment by stopping their hearts for short periods. Each triggers a near-death experience, giving them a first-hand account of the afterlife.
There's that synopsis.
Directed by Niels Arden Oplev.
Yes. So he's a guy, famous-ish, did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay.
Original, not the Americanized.
The foreign version.
Yep.
And it stars Ellen Page, Diego Luna, Nina Dobrev, James Norton, Kiersey Clemens, Kiefer Sutherland, Madison Bridges, Jacob Soley, and Arden.
Kiefer was in the original.
Yes. So I might go see it just because I'm a pretty big Kiefer Sutherland fan. I like him in a lot of stuff that he's in. But and we just talked about this too. I saw the first trailer. I didn't like the first trailer. I felt like it gave too much away. The music was weird, especially with the second half with the
You didn't like that?
No, I did. No, I did
like
not
laughing
like that.
at you.
Yeah, it's messed up, and they just gave away the whole thing.
Yeah.
The second one, they didn't tell you anything about it. It was just a bunch of images of weird things happening. And I don't know. This movie feels like it should have come out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they've just been sitting on it for a little while. I feel like because I don't know, it doesn't like they can't find an audience, or they're not sure who to just like it's been bounced around through a lot of hands. That's just kind of the vibe I get from the trailer.
Yeah. I think one that me, not necessarily the biggest fan of like the horror suspense stuff, but I think one of the things that's actually really a detractor for me in this film is that it's PG-13.
Oh yeah. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I really think that this is the kind of film that they should have gone for a hard R,
right,
and really made it into the original. I don't know if you saw the original.
Long time ago.
Yeah, the original was scary, but it was more of just a cool concept,
right?
Because nothing like that had ever been, as far as I know, nothing like that had ever been done before. Where it's this idea of these people trying to like fake death in a way, or like get as close to death as possible so they could experience what that's like.
Right.
And so it was a novel concept, and it was kind of scary, and it was weird at times, but it didn't go into like the horror as much.
Right.
It was more suspense and more kind of mystery drama. And this one very clearly is trying to tote that closer to the line of horror. It looks like, with certain shots of like, the freaky kids, and the people jumping and the cars burning and stuff. Like, it's going towards horror. I really feel like if it had been R, then I would have found a lot more satisfaction from some of that scariness and horror. If I ended up going to see it. So.
Yeah, here's and this is why it may feel like it should have come out, and maybe why the trailers I feel like are really weird, is any type of like thriller, anything that's like posed as a thriller or a horror type genre, if they can't figure it out, they're gonna and it potentially could have been R-rated, and they could have just trimmed out a lot of stuff to make it PG-13.
Yep.
Because historically, horror films or thrillers that are PG-13 make more money.
Yeah.
Just on the initial box office day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it seems like here. That's what a lot of horror movies do. Like we know we don't have a good product, but we're gonna throw it out there. Everybody go see it, and then we know nobody's gonna come back the second weekend, but hopefully we can make our money back that first week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. My excitement level for this though is probably 3.
Yeah.
And that 3 is just because Kiefer.
Yeah, that's pretty much right where I'm at. So right around a 3. So,
yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll see. If it comes out, I don't think there's any reason I would potentially end up seeing this unless I have to for the podcast.
Unless you force me.
Unless you make me.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So then we will move into some of our trailer talk.
Yeah.
When we do that. So what trailers are we talking about here, Matt?
Yeah, so today there's 2 movie trailers that came out this past week. One of them being the first Tomb Raider trailer, full trailer, and then kind of a teaser trailer for Maze Runner, the Death Cure, which is the 3rd installment of the Maze Runner trilogy. And I actually got a chance to do a review, and we're going to post those. But
or a trailer reaction.
Trailer reaction review. We'll post those on our YouTube. And Tomb Raider, I was disappointed with.
Okay.
I was disappointed with it.
Yeah.
And a big part of it was, the music was bad. All the lines of dialogue was bad. Yeah. They were bad. There were a lot of like one-liners, very cheesy.
Yeah.
I kind of like the aesthetic of it, I guess, but I didn't like that a lot of it felt like the video game reboot from a few years back as well.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good. I think it's good that they recognize the success of the video game franchise reboot.
Yeah.
However, translating that into the movie, I don't know if that's necessarily a good way to go.
Right.
I like the talent involved as far as the actors, but
I would say arguably we are still waiting for a real blockbuster hit video game movie.
Right.
Arguably, though, Tomb Raider is one of the most successful.
Critically.
Hit.
No, sorry. We're waiting for a critically hit. We've had box office hits.
Correct. That's what I meant. I meant like an all over hit, kind of critics and everything.
Yeah.
The Tomb Raider series was one of the first decently, favorable type video game series movies that came out that did well box office wise. It worked because it really didn't take itself too seriously. It knew what the appeal of it was. I mean, Angelina Jolie wearing skimpy clothes, running around doing crazy stunts and shooting things and monsters and crazy action. The video games, though, as we know, have gone in a much different direction, become much more real, reality-based, simpler.
Very Last of Us, kind of, actually.
Yeah, telling more of a story and definitely going into some pretty crazy territory with it, but making it more grounded at the same time. And I thought that that's what they were going for with this, with the look of Alicia Vikander, with the look of the cinematography. There's just something about this feels more normal and natural. Mm-hmm. But after watching the trailer, it was kind of similar to you. It was like, wow, they're really going very kind of tongue-in-cheek, almost silly, over the top, ridiculous at times with this.
Yeah.
Almost like a Angelina Jolie sequel. But they have the visual style of what I would think of something that's more real. So that was frustrating to me because I was like wanting it to be more real.
Yeah.
And grounded and follow, that Last of Us style kind of. But they're not doing that.
No.
It doesn't look like it unless they edited the trailer very particularly.
A lot of times these studios will actually hire companies to cut the trailers for them.
And sometimes they include footage that's not even in the film.
Right. We saw that with Rogue One.
Yeah, but you can tell from the trailer they're going for exactly what you're talking about. So I'm like, why would you promote it as that, but have a completely different, more grounded film?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of let down by the trailer, but I'm going to try and hold out hope a little bit that maybe this will be the first critically acclaimed video game movie.
Maybe. I like Alicia Vikander as well as far as an acting job goes. So we'll see.
Yeah. The second trailer was the Maze Runner the Death Cure trailer.
Yep.
And it's the 3rd one. It's a teaser, it wasn't a full trailer. They spent the first 30 seconds basically recapping all the previous ones.
Yep.
It was okay. They showed just a little bit. A lot of it was from the one train scene, like the one big action set piece. I don't know. Hopefully they have more than just that. But Dylan O'Brien Sure. I don't know.
This is the last one, right?
I think it's the last one.
Is it? Okay.
So this is supposed to come out like a year ago.
Right. He got
a year
injured.
plus ago. He got injured real bad.
Pulled a hammy.
Yep. Way worse than that. He couldn't just walk this one off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. So he had to take a break, and then finish it, and then come back to it. So initially I thought they were going to do the trend that they were going to do like part 1, but I don't think it's held on to enough popularity to warrant splitting the last one into 2 movies.
Let's see here. Maze Runner. There might be another one called Kill Order.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that this is the final in a trilogy, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, it's probably the next that he wrote, but it's the final in the Maze Runner. Yeah, it's the Maze Runner trilogy.
Okay.
So yeah, he wrote a book afterwards called Kill Order, but wasn't part of that. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until they give us a fuller trailer, because I think one of the difficulties I had with Hunger Games was that final movie felt very. It's like they were building towards something, and it was almost like they didn't have the budget to make what that last movie was supposed to be, which was like an all-out epic war with the Capitol.
Right.
And it's like, I'm hoping that's not what this is. Like they've been building towards this big final like epic showdown with whoever this organization is that's sort of doing this stuff to the kids.
Right.
And they just stick them on a train.
So
that would be horrible.
I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic, hopeful, because I feel like it can only go up. I didn't like the second movie. I really liked the first one. I didn't like the second one. And if they can flip-flop that, because like your example, the Hunger Games, I thought the first one was good. The second one was my favorite.
Yeah.
The third one I thought was good. And then the fourth one I just thought like, wow, that kind of fizzled out. Like what happened? You know? But with this
I forget that there are 2 films at the end of the Hunger Games. Literally in my brain, I blend those 2 together.
Right.
Because there really wasn't, in my mind, any reason to do 2 films. There wasn't a significant.
They could have, yeah.
The story is seamless in a sense.
It's kind of the
there
end
wasn't
of the
enough
trend.
happening. Yeah,
it was the end of when that was super trendy.
I'm glad. Yeah.
So
I forget. I'm like you're saying that. I'm like, crud. There is 2 films at the end of the. It's a trilogy of books, but a series of 4 films.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. It's whatever.
Speaking of trains. There is a film that you need to watch.
What?
I don't know if you've heard this film. It's gotten a lot of buzz. It's called Train to Busan.
I saw Train to Busan.
Did you?
I like Train to Busan.
All right, we should talk about that. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
And I was going to suggest that if you hadn't seen it, you watch it.
Let's talk about it next week or something.
I'll try and watch it. I'll try.
Oh, you haven't seen it
yet?
I do
like zombies. No, I do like zombie movies.
It's good.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
It's got a lot of like emotional weight to it too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
it's about a dad and his daughter and everything.
Yeah, watch it with subtitles. Don't watch it with the dubs.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Dubs are awful.
I never like the dubs these days for the most part. They're not great. So cool. I'll check it out. We'll talk about it. But it's another train. That's what I was thinking.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, then I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap things up unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, not really.
All right. Well, thanks for listening in. And again, definitely get connected to us in all those different ways. Love to hear from you. Any of your thoughts on the trailers that are just coming out, or maybe a new one that we haven't seen yet you want to talk about. So great. All right. And then nothing else. So, well, then it's been real.
It's been real.